What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, the Serious Celibate. Place your love in yourself before you ever place your love in somebody else. Self love is often the solution, and your self talk. That water's boiling in the back. There's a retainer in my mouth. I slept less than 5 hours. I'm still here. Why am I making this video? I'm making this video because I want to talk about desexualizing your brain and secrets to success. Um, some people don't understand that I've done semen retention for longer than 3 months. I think that was like one of the longest stints I've done. So this right now I'm at day 20. And one thing I'm going to tell you is never minimize your wins. You know, you can be your harshest critic, but also be your biggest fan. And 20 days, look, mama, we made it. You know, that's almost 3 weeks. That's twice in 10 days. That's 2/3 of a month. And I want to talk about how you can be successful in one thing and extrapolate it to other things, and what it's like to start desexualizing your brain, and how crossing into the unknown is important, and how it controls a lot of things in our life. And how we're really just getting drained by things are draining our dopamine, which means that it's draining our ability to really achieve, create our reality, bring about things that we want. So first and foremost, I'm kind of tired. Like I said, I didn't really sleep too much. Kind of sucks, but sometimes on semen retention, you can operate with less sleep and you might sleep less. I repeat, you can operate with less sleep and you might sleep less. And you just gotta run with it, because if you start waking up at 3 a.m. for a certain reason, it might be physiological, but sometimes it's also like spiritual, man. A lot of things are going on that we can't see, and if you start waking up at 3 or 4 a.m., well, you gotta start thinking like, yo, like, am I gonna meditate? Am I gonna pray? Am I gonna, think good thoughts? Am I gonna really understand that there might be a reason why I keep on waking up at this time? Maybe I need to change something in my health, but take heed. Know what you need. And I was just meditating, and the more you give, the more you receive. And I realized I gotta start my day. I gotta go to work. My body's beat up, but I still might go to the gym. It's a warrior's life, but let's talk about this semen retention journey, bro. You walking outside, you going outside, you go to the gym, and there's a reason why in certain sacred books they tell you to lower your gaze. Lust is always going to be there, man. It's actually, lust is almost like a perversion of one of the greatest forces and driving forces and creative forces in a human, which is your sexual energy, right? Your sexual energy, you have an energy that wants to create, that wants to reproduce. That energy is great. It's beautiful, but it gets perverted by programs and the powers that be. P is also a letter, that is interesting to say the least. Gematria 7, perversion. Things get perverted in this reality that they're trying to build you and lock you into. And you have to desexualize your brain, because what happens is they use lust as one of the biggest ways to like dysregulate your chakras, keep you trapped in your lower self, lower chakra. And you have to desexualize your brain when you're on SR, because if you're doing semen retention, if you're doing semen retention and you don't desexualize your brain, you're not really going to get most of the benefits of it, because you got to understand that it's not just about holding in your semen, right? Holding in your semen is one part of it, but it's also, and this is what the Brahmachari talk about, but it's not about being a Brahmachari. It's just, what is draining your energy? Why are you doing semen retention? Why do you do anything at all, right? think about the thing that you're doing something because you're alive. We're alive. We want to do stuff. Even though a lot of a man's problems comes from the fact that he can't just sit down and just be with his thoughts. He has to be stimulated. You're gonna notice even when you meditate, certain meditations that you might do, that your mind constantly wants to go this way and go do that, and this comes from being on the phones a lot. Again, something that drains your dopamine, and your mind always wants to be stimulated, but you have to learn how to let your mind go and want to be stimulated, but you don't have to stimulate yourself. And this is kind of like the concept of desexualizing your brain, or you can't really fight lust. If you've been raised in a society, like for example, for me, I was exposed to pornography at a young age, like, and you're a healthy young man, you can't really fight lust. In the Bible, it says, don't try to fight temptation, flee. What is that telling you? It's telling you that trying to fight lust, it's not a battle that you're going to win all the time. What you can do is flee, or just accept the fact that there might be times where you feel lustful, or maybe not lustful, but you feel a little bit fired up, and you can go transmute that energy. But even before you transmute it, just accept. As a man, as a fighter, sometimes we don't want to accept, but sometimes you need to accept. It's like even when you're boxing, sometimes you got to accept the fact you're going to take a hit so you can give a hit. So, the first thing, desexualizing your brain and understanding that we're just living in this big old program. And SR is so many things. It's the way you're going to treat your life. That's going to affect the way people treat you. It's understanding that energy. It's understanding it's not just about holding in your seed. It's about your mental. It's all about just energy. And you let your energy get drained without even releasing your seed. Like, think about semen retention as energy management. You're going to get all this energy, and energy is really just like, it's like, it's the ability to work, and power is like the ability to do like intense work, bro. Power is like, bro, like if a man has power, he doesn't even need to say it, bro. He can press a button and boom, a lot of work gets done, up in rank. So I'm not even caring about the views. I'm in a stream of consciousness, but I kind of know the points that I want to talk about. I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking like, I'm meditating, I know that this wealth is coming to me. The more that I give, the more I receive. I'm making more money. I see women just checking me, and I see them. I mostly see them in the gym, because other than that, I'm just keeping to myself, bro. Almost like on some monk mode. I see women starting to randomly text me. I'm not even on social media. And you have to realize that, like, sometimes there's two things that's going to happen. You're going to have strong urges. Don't fight the urges. Just realize that, you have urges. And as soon as you try to fight them, or as soon as you try to tell yourself that you need to do something, you're going to lose. Just accept the fact that you have urges. And maybe you go for a walk, maybe you work out, maybe you meditate, maybe you tell yourself, instead of masturbating, pornography, orgasm, PMO, I need to learn how to do something else. But we're going to go deeper. That's one thing. It's either you're going to get urges, and to wait to kind of just like deal with it sometimes is just accept that you're going to get urges and transmute that energy. But also just another thing is to desexualize your brain is learn to lower your gaze, learn not to entertain the thoughts, And it goes back to this thing of you can get things done without doing things. Sometimes not doing will get things done. Sometimes, because you have this energy and you feel you have to go release PMO, what about you don't release? And then you start to realize that, like, wow, like, by me not releasing, but not fighting, not entertaining these thoughts or fighting this energy, by me not doing, I'm actually doing more. I'm actually learning that I need to manage this energy, and you're going to get more energy, but what do you think is the result that's going to happen after you release? Oh, there was a release. A release of what? a release of energy, of tension, don't you realize, like, how does a man just do, like, how do I get to a point I do 20 days of semen retention and no weed, and you can just go for 3 months, you know? You know what I realized? You gotta stop exposing yourself to certain things and ideas and accepting certain things. You gotta stop accepting certain things and start accepting other things. You know, you have to breathe in air and breathe out. And some of you guys don't want to accept certain things, and some of you guys need to accept certain things. It's really just about pressing two buttons sometimes, you know, because it's all about, a lot of times, equivalent exchange. Sacrifice leads to paradise. Give and take. Give more, you'll receive. Some of y'all just need to accept the fact that, yo, look, like, I don't need to act out on these urges. So accept the fact, but also do not accept or reject the fact that, stop accepting that you need to release, and accept that you have urges. Accept that you have energy in you. You don't need to go release every 2 seconds. You don't need to go and think about that girl sexually. Just like, accept the fact that you have this energy, and do not accept what you think is the fact that you need to go release it. And to desexualize your brain, you need to start by not watching pornography, because you're probably going to release because of pornography by yourself or with somebody else. But if it's not about the act of looking at pornography, what you got to do is you got to ask yourself, why do you do anything? And a lot of reasons, like how you do things, is because you have energy, right? But the deeper thing is just like, for me, I had to ask myself, I know it's going to get hard, because that's one part of, you know, the SR, the urges and stuff. But what if you don't get any urges? This happens when I do SR sometimes. It's like, the more I engage in physical activities with women, the more I want, you know? And the more sometimes you watch porn, the more you want. And the more you release, the more you want to release sometimes, right? But think about it the other way. What happens sometimes is, sometimes you don't feel any urges, and then some guys get tricked into, like, I don't feel any urges, so now something must be wrong with me. This SR is bad. And no, what about you just realize that that's like you being like a version of yourself that you could be. You got so used to just, oh, I need to have urges, and then when I have urges, I need to release. It's just a constant cycle. You can't move in a straight line, and you wonder why you can't do other things in life. It's like some of us are just doing this in life because we're creatures of habit, and we're just going in a circle. And sometimes you got to get sick of going in a circle. And some people, they go in a straight line. And those people are usually doing things. They're making big moves. They're making bankroll, you know, they're accumulating. And some people were just going in circles. And you have to start going in a straight line. And sometimes when you start going in a straight line, you can't just take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Because now you are going in a straight line, but you're declining rather. And what you got to realize is, it's okay to mess up and take 1 step back, but take 10 steps forward. And stop walking in a circle. And you stop walking in a circle once you start to realize these patterns, and you have to do pattern interrupts. And you have to be like, I can accept certain things that, okay, I'm in a circle, I'm aware. So I start to accept, and then you're like, yo, I have to actually like not accept to stay in a circle. But most of you guys are gonna accept staying in a circle, and not accept the fact that maybe you don't, like, stop releasing. And you stop releasing by stop trying to do and start trying to do less. Stop trying to do more, start trying to do less. And do less in the realm of PMO, and do more in the realm of walking, working out, meditation, making content. It's really just like the energy does not, it has to circulate, but it doesn't have to circulate out. It's just, you need to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So, replacement, exchange. It's not always about extinction. You know, it's like humans, like, you're gonna move around, so learn how to move around a little different. Secrets of success: love, and not the love that you think that you see on the TV, or not the love that you think you should have for women, which is really always just lust. It's like some of you guys, I don't want to use too much graphic language, but some of you guys are just masturbating with somebody else's body. You don't really love that person, and some of you guys love that person, but you love that person at the expense of your own self-love. And I realized that what has made me go forward is love for myself. is having, even if you think 99% you don't love yourself, that 1% being like, if I love myself, why would I keep on doing this to myself? And you have to start to recognize what actions are showing love to yourself and what actions are not. And you have to start to feel love within yourself, because the self-love, you know what it is? It's really God. God loves you, bro. If nobody loves you, God loves you. How you can say all these things about yourself, which are really just things that somebody else told you. You might question your intelligence because somebody told you you're not as smart as that guy. You might be like, I'm not as athletic as that guy. You know, some guys might be like, I may not be as big down there as that guy. My muscles are not as big as that guy. It's all compare. Put the energy back on yourself and realize that if you love yourself, that's the biggest thing that has changed my life. Me realizing that if you love yourself, why would you let yourself keep on going in a circle and repeating patterns that are not good for you? Because you didn't love yourself. And because you didn't love yourself, you didn't even love life. You don't even have to love life. We're all living on borrowed time, but just love yourself and keep working on that. That's what got me through the long streaks. That's what got me through hard times. It's the self-love, and the self-love is really God. God loves you. And you're scared to love yourself because they've convinced you that you should only love God outside yourself. God is within you. How do you think a man can go through tough times? Do you think he's always just looking out? You think he always has time to pray? You know? You got to go out in this world and know that you love yourself. And because you love yourself, whatever you feel for yourself, you're going to feel for others. If you hate yourself, you're going to hate other people. If you truly love yourself, you're going to start to love other people. But don't love other people before you love yourself. And that's what I realized. The secret to success for me is just like self-love. You know what I'm saying? And because of self-love, I'm like, I want to be free, but not free just by like freedom, like, oh, like I get to do what I want. No, discipline yourself so you can do what you want. Discipline is actually freedom, because you do things that you don't want to do. Now you can do whatever you want. Some of y'all say, oh, I love myself. I do what I want. You can't even do things that you don't want to do. So how are you loving yourself? If I love myself, I have to define what self-love means to you. Define what love means to you before yourself. And that's what keeps me going. When I got to the point that I'm like, bro, why am I letting myself be so fed up monetarily? Why am I letting myself be so fed up by shorties? I wasn't really fed up. I'm pretty lucky with shorties, you know, but I just mean like, why am I letting myself be fed up, period? Why am I putting myself through situations? Some of you guys, you know, you do things with PMO. Like some of you guys, I ain't trying to judge, but mans are telling me they're going out and they're buying, you know, a hooker or something. Okay. Start with awareness then. Start really being aware of what you're doing. And people, with awareness comes responsibility. Really be aware of what the hell's going on. Some of y'all are walking with your eyes open, but they're really closed. NPC-like behavior. Yes, because we're creatures of habit, but you're in the habit of destroying yourself. You're in a circle. You don't want to go in a straight line. And when you go in a straight line, you start on the decline. You're walking backwards because they've convinced you that the love that you're searching is outside of you, bro. But it's not. The love that you're searching is not outside of you, bro. The love that you're searching for is within you. God is within you. You know, and once you realize that, then you start to realize that being successful is a certain, you need to have a certain esteem of yourself, a certain esteem of your projects. And people around you that want to be around you, they need to have a certain esteem of themselves. But it's not about prideful, it's a love. It's like when you look at a child, you nurture it because you know that like everybody needs some love. What happens to humans with no love? And that's what the secret is, man. Self-love. That's what I realized. And self-love should give you a purpose. I'm telling you, man. Self-love will have you loving things outside of yourself because you're like, yo, bro, like, if it ain't about me, but you really know that like it's godly, it's like something within you, then you start being like, maybe I do it for my family, for humanity. But there has to be some love somewhere, bro. And that's what I realized. Like, how can I do SR for 20 days, 200 days? Because it's a matter of self-love. It's like, what is a woman going to take from me that is worth giving to her? And I just realized I need to give to myself And by not doing, I'm doing a lot with SR, just not releasing. And by taking the time to be celibate and protect my energy, like some of y'all are really chosen ones. You don't realize that your isolation leads to elevation. Your time where you're not trying to be with anybody else is actually protection. You're forming more of a divine covenant with something, but you know, we get distracted and then they drain our dopamine. You let yourself get your dopamine drained with all types of things, you know. And I get it, because some of the stuff is funny online, some of the stuff is hot. Desexualizing your brain, secrets of success, and the unknown. Y'all don't realize that there are unknown forces at hand. The subconscious runs your mind, your hormones, your limbic system, spiritual, all these things, and you don't want to learn about the unknown. You don't even know self-love. You don't want to learn about the unknown. And the unknown, it's the same way that, like, sometimes you guys are like, I'm sorry, but I have to say it, sometimes you guys are under possession and you go do crazy things due to lust, alcohol. Why can't you be under a more angelic, you know, handling? Do you want to be a slave or a master, if anything? With no handling, no possession. Do you understand that you should be able to recognize that it's like, are you a slave or a master? If you love yourself, don't be a slave. That's what it is too. It's understanding that you're going to get so broken one day that you won't be trying to depend on yourself, and you're going to realize that you can't face yourself. And then once you realize that, you're going to go into the unknown, but not for darker forces or forces that are detrimental to you, that are positive to you, because you know that you can't do it. It's not you, it's unknown. Like, bro, me as I'm doing SR, it's like, how am I doing this? It's not just me. I tapped into something that got me out of a loop and put me in a straight line. And, you know, I'm just telling you guys, like, the unknown is great, but a lot of people fear the unknown, and the program is what they know, so they stay in the program, they stay in the matrix. And that's what I realized. For me to make more money right now, for me to like do things, it's like I don't need to know how. I just need to know the what. It's unknown to know the how, but I do know that the what is self-love, it's purpose, it's growth, it's just the ability to just start to desexualize my brain. Self-love is the solution, man. To really just love yourself, bro, and have that positive self-talk. Because imagine a lot of things that you're thinking, they were just told to you. You need to start talking to yourself positively and loving yourself, and freedom. The freedom isn't just about the fact you can walk around and not be in prison. Some of y'all are walking around, but you're in prison in your own minds. You don't have freedom because you don't do what you don't want to do. And when you don't do what you don't want to do, you can't do everything that you want, because you only do things that I want to watch Netflix and PMO and I want to eat bad foods. But could you tell yourself to say, oh, I want to be healthy, and do it? Could you tell yourself, I want to be richer, and do it? You don't do things that you don't want to do because you don't love yourself enough, or you haven't figured out. And I'm trying to give you the keys, but it's kind of hard because I'm just a channel. There's so much going on with this SR and this celibacy and this no weed and this life period. There's so much going on. I'm trying to drop the keys, but it's like a journal. I could post this video, hide it, delete it, but I realize that's really the secret. Self-love is really the secret. And sometimes to desexualize your brain, it's not about doing more, it's actually doing less. Transmutation, replacement. Managing your energy instead of releasing it. I made this video long enough. I didn't really sleep that much, but I'm gonna have a great day. You know, y'all wanna see something? Yeah, screw it. See if I can get it. Look at the nipple. Got me some kombucha. Here, it's like an Easter egg for y'all. All right, man, peace out, guys. Self-love is often the solution.